Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, from here starts the speaking test. This is the speaking mock test of the International English Language Testing System taking place in Ross IELTS Academy. The candidate is Beta. The candidate number is 014-13278. The examiner is Joseph, examiner number 44321. Good afternoon. My name is Joseph. Would you please tell me your full name?
Thank you. Nice to meet you. I'm Ross IELTS Academy.
Can I see your identification, please?
Yeah, here you are.
All right, thank you.
Here, welcome.
So let's begin by part one. In the first part of the exam, I will ask you some personal questions. Let's talk about friends. Who is your best friend?
My best friend is Azade. Actually, she was my classmate, and right now we have a good connection right now.
Are you still friends with people from your childhood?
Yes, I can say that. As far as I think, the best friendships actually can be made when actually you're a child, or actually, if I want to say that, from your childhood.
Do you prefer spending time with family or friends?
Honestly, with my family, because I think we are a close-knit family, and I prefer to spend my time with my family.
Perfect. Let's talk about television programs now. Where do you usually watch TV programs or shows?
I am really keen on sport TV shows, and I really, want to spend my time on that, of course.
And what's your favorite TV program or show?
And it is actually called Nabat, and I really love that because of actually its host that his name is Adel Ferdowsi, and I really liked this man.
And do you think you will watch more TV or fewer TV programs or shows in the future?
In the future, I think I will watch it more, because right now I'm really trying for my life, and I really spend my time on studying and a lot of things. So I think in the future, maybe I am not busy as I am right now. I would actually.
All right. Now let's move on to talk about age. Are you happy to be the age you are now?
I think yes, I am happy, but I'm stressed because I'm getting older, and I think it is so scary for me. And I think maybe I will lose my opportunities.
And when you were a child, did you think a lot about your future?
Yes, I did. I used to think a lot about my future because all the time I was so worried about my future, and I had a lot of goals and plans, and I wanted to achieve them.
And do you think you have changed as you have got older?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Sure. Do you think you have changed as you have got older?
I think yes. I changed a lot, especially I was a kind of introverted person, and right now I am so extroverted, and I think it could be a big change for me.
Thank you. That's the end for part one. Now let's move on to part two. In part two, I will give you a card with a topic, and you will have to talk about the topic for up to 2 minutes. You have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make some notes to help if you wish. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the topic would be describe a time when you started using a new technological advice, e.g. a new computer or phone. That's your cue card.
Thank you so much.
That's a piece of paper for taking notes and a pen.
We really appreciate
Your 1 minute time for taking notes and thinking starts right now. All right, your 1 minute time is over, and now you can speak for up to 2 minutes.
Okay, so if I want to start my speech, I can say that one of the actually devices that I was really keen on was my actually phone, my smartphones, because as I can remember, when I was a student at high school, actually I was familiar with these devices, and they were actually kind of, new devices, and I really wanted to have one. And because I actually really wanted to improve my actually life quality, and I actually I was thinking that it could be so effective, and it could have a lot of effect on my life, and I can actually do a lot of things with that. And so, first of all, if I want to talk about my experience about using these actually mobile phones, first of all, I should say that it was so easy for me, like a piece of a cake, and I really, because I really loved that devices, and I was so interested about them. And in a short time, I actually had known that how can I use them. And so I can remember that when I really wanted these devices, all the time I was saying that I wish I would actually in a place that my friends, for example, are in that. And it was so it was so dreamy for me. I really wanted to do that, to have them, of course.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Now let's move on to the third part. Would you please hand me back the piece of paper, the cue card, and the pen?
Here you are.
In part 2, you talked about the time when you started using a new technological device. Now, in this part, I want to ask you some questions related to this topic. First, let's consider technology and education. What is the best age for children to start computer lessons?
Can you explain it? Can you
Of course.
say it again?
What is the best age for children to start computer lessons?
I think, when the children can understand what they can do for their life, actually, and what is wrong and what is, the best decision, they can actually keep learning and, start to studying and just this.
And do you think that schools should use more technology to help children learn?
Definitely yes, because, as far as I think, technology can be so effective in the actually learning process, and I think it could be so, it could boost actually the process of learning.
And do you agree or disagree that computers will replace teachers one day?
I agree, actually, because, nowadays we can see, for example, some bots like AI that they can do a lot of things that, it is more than a kind of, it is more than individual powers, of course. And I think it could be so challenging, but I think, yeah.
Now let's talk about technology and society. How much has technology improved the way we communicate with each other?
A lot. Of course, it is different. As my point of actually, as I think, it made people to have more connection with actually other people and make new friendships, and of course, do a lot of things that we can't do it without them. But I think that some close-knit families, for example, destroyed by this technology, and for example, like some applications that you can have video calls or something like that. I think it could be it couldn't be actually.
Do you agree that there are still many major technological innovations to be made?
Yes, definitely. Because actually, day by day, we can see the world actually getting better. And, so I think because of that, we can see a lot of, new technologies and new approaches in the future. And yeah.
And could you suggest some reasons why some people are deciding to reduce their use of technology?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Yes. Could you suggest some reasons why some people are deciding to reduce their use of technology?
It depends on each individual perspective, point of view. I wanted to say that. I think the people that want to decide to reduce using technology, maybe they thought is about we don't have any close relationship nowadays, and it will make people so lazy, and so because of that maybe they don't want to do that.
Thank you so much. This is the end of the speaking test.
Do you want to know what band score you'll get in the IELTS speaking test? Perhaps you want to improve your performance and prepare yourself for the real test? Then why not book an online mock test with us that will last for 25 minutes? 12 minutes of the test itself and 13 minutes of comprehensive feedback, plus we'll give you useful tips on how to make your performance better. So, we know how to help you. Join us.
Okay, that was a lot of talking. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you very much. I really appreciate that you give me this feedback because I know this will help me. This is exactly what I need.
Although my job is hard, I enjoy doing it.
Because you have already practiced for this is the last time I'm going to on the exam day, you should make sure, okay, this is the last time I'm going to talk about
IELTS
Academy for our generation.
Find out movie and talk about what's in a movie and film. So, we were talking about cinema or film.
All right, so time for the feedback. Well, as you know, there are 4 criteria for evaluating your performance: fluency, lexical resource or vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. When it comes to fluency, you were easy to follow. That's what matters. You were easily understandable, and then you didn't repeat yourself. You had a couple of self-repetition and self-correction, but that's okay. It looks like you were repeating yourself naturally, like everybody, even people with even if their native language is English, they do repeat themselves. So that was the good part of it with regards to the fluency and coherence. And you were coherent, easily understandable, but you need to slow down a little bit. You have to give yourself that time to find the ideas and find the words. You don't need to rush, because rushing makes you nervous. And getting nervous is a killer in IELTS exams, speaking exams. So you need to slow down, keep pace when you speak, try to think wisely before choosing any word. And in order to do that, you need to diversify your connectives, the fillers and boosters and connectives. You need to pay close attention to what connectives to use. We have fillers, which are the phrases used by the speaker to try to find the right word. Okay, like you say, like, or or I mean. You're buying yourself time to find the better word, right? So you have to pay attention to the fillers and the boosters to find the next ideas. Like, you need to use some boosters. Like, for example, you say a sentence and you're not sure what the next sentence would be. So you would say, with that being said, then blah, blah, blah. You find yourself another ideas to move on and keep the flow of speech, maintain the flow of speech. So you need to also use a wide range of boosters to try to figure out what to speak about and maintain the flow of speech. But let me tell you something. You need to use those fillers and boosters judiciously, carefully. An overdose of fillers and boosters is not okay, because that would also show that you're not able to be coherent or be to the point. So overdose or excessive use of fillers and boosters is dangerous, but try to use them carefully. So that is for fluency and coherence. Let's move on to lexical resource, which is vocabulary. You did a great job finding some very good words like, yeah, I'm keen on. That's perfect. That's professional. You also said use some idiomatic language, which is very okay. You are really great in finding some colloquial words and an idiomatic language. Like you said, piece of cake. You use day by day. That is really important to try to diversify and expand the vocabulary. Use naturally used idioms by native speakers. That is okay, but pay attention to the overuse of some words, like you overused the word actually, and that is not okay. So try to avoid overusing some specific words. And you also, one good point is that you said definitely yes when you were really sure what the answer would be. Definitely yes, absolutely yes. All those phrases are really amazing, and they really caught my attention. With regards to grammar, you had some little issues. You have to avoid them. Let me begin by your bright side. You used this phrase as far as, which is okay. That shows that you are able to use some complex structures, but your usage of complex structures were not fully okay, because sometimes you make some mistakes. When you want to expand the answer or expound on the answer, elaborate on the answer, you would face some problems. You want to use that complex structure, but then you face some shortcomings. But as far as you were speaking and using some simple structures, you were okay. But the issues would be you used will, but instead of mentioning the simple form of the verb, you used the past form of the verb. So that is an issue. And then you also said a lot of thing instead of a lot of things. You said, I know that how can I, which the correct form would be, I know how I can. You said, I wish I would. Then you didn't say, I wish I would be. I wish I would do something. You used, you were not accurate in this part. And you said the world getting better without using the is. So you have to say the world is getting better instead of the world getting better. So try to also use some complex structures and pay attention to how they're used. Try to practice them in order to increase your band score. When it comes to pronunciation, you were easy to understand. That's what matters. You really, you did a very great job. Instead of a couple of mistakes, like stressed instead of stressed. You have to avoid that E or schwa, because in Iran, because of the form of their language, Persian language, we cannot say stressed or sport. People here in Iran usually say esport or estress or escool. You have to pay attention and remove that schwa at the beginning of each word. So you also said dreaming instead of dreaming, and then close family instead of close family. So paying attention to those subtle mistakes will definitely increase your band score. Of course, we're not talking about, when we're talking about pronunciation, we're not talking about accent. I repeat, we're not talking about accent. We're talking about clarity. You have to be clear and pronounce the words correctly. So you had a very good intonation. when you were speaking about something important, you had that word stress and you had that sentence stress, which is very good. You did a very great job in pronunciation. So instead of, except for those couple of mistakes, very subtle mistakes, you did a great job